Peace and blessings, family. It's your girl Sony back again with another one. As I keep saying and stating in all my videos, life is nothing but lessons and blessings, lessons and blessings, lessons and blessings. Every lesson will not be a positive lesson. This is life. This is not the hereafter. But a blessing will always be a blessing. Um, I realize the things that I hold on to the most, that have taught me the most, have been heartaches, have been the hurt and the pain. It hasn't been the happiness, the pop champagne, um, throwing dollars in the air, doing all the reckless things that I used to do in my past. Um, Many unscrupulous things between me and Spirit and a couple of people that's still walking around. But it was in those moments of hurt and pain when I didn't think that I could make it. Like when my older brother called me saying that my dad had passed, and I went and told my mother, and I cried, and I had to take a nap for a couple of hours because it was so emotionally draining. I know that he was going to pass, but just to hear it was too much that I had to go to sleep. To go to a funeral, to not have my name in the obituary, to go to a funeral where no one on my father's side even stood up for me to have a seat where I sat on the side of the friends. And I didn't think about any of that day because I was so not there. My body was just there. Where my friend who traveled with me from New York, her toddler was patting me. And I still remember Jalea just patting me on my shoulder while I was crying. I was like, you know what? But through all of that hurt and pain that most people think you couldn't get through, I came back home and I prayed and I asked God. I said, my earthly father's no longer here, so you're gonna have to be both. Lead me, guide me, protect me, shield me. And the way he showed up was truly amazing. And it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight, but I had more than a mustard seed of faith. I know that it was going to be okay because I knew Jesus before I knew my ABCs. I knew spirit. I knew everything I needed to know as a child. And I thank my mother for teaching me that. But the things that will stay with us the longest, that help us grow, will always be the most painful. Will always be the most painful. But it's how you handle these painful things. When I got my heart broke for the first time after I came out of the closet, oh my gosh, I thought it was the end of the world. Like, oh, how could she do this to me? But I realized that she was a piece of crap, and so was I, because I was vibrating at my lowest vibration. She had a boyfriend and a family creeping on the side. I liked her physicality and was like, oh, we're going to make this happen to have my first experience. And it turned into a 6 month little love affair triangle. So when I got my heart hurt, and when we finally broke up, we went, oh, it was messy. I won't even get into details, but trust me, it was messy. And I had to take responsibility for that because karma is beautiful when it shows up at your door. Um, but that heartbreak, because I had never cared for anyone at that time, and I thought that I cared about her. I cared about her. I'm not gonna underplay it. I thought it was love, but it was lust because I finally got it what I wanted after 24 years. So it was like, okay, and it was a nice situation. It should have been um, different if I had more morals at the time, but it was what it was, and I had to learn that lesson. And I didn't learn the lesson because right in the next relationship, I ended up into another freaking triangle with someone who was really close to me, who was in and out of a relationship, living a double life. You would think I would have learned the first time around, but no. Clearly, I have a hard freaking head. Oh, and this one ended up messy too. When I tell you this ended up messy, oh, this ended up messy with running the streets using substances for a couple of years, both of us. Um, a baby who was in her 20s at this time. And the day the baby was born, less than 10 minutes later, I won't really get into details, but I had my fingers wrapped around the father's throat and tore him up. And it took me years, years, and I mean years. The girl probably had to be in her teens by the time I was like, oh, I feel bad about the situation because it was 4 years of constant stuff and the back and forth and the ego, and it was a lot. So when I sit here and I tell you that it's the pain of things that keep you and help you grow, and to this day I feel bad. I truly feel bad that I attacked that man because he didn't get a chance to put his hands on me. I just did the one, two, three, four. I mean, it was my last fight that I ever had, and yeah, it was 20 some years ago. It was the last fight I ever had, and the only reason I feel bad is because it has come to my attention that every birthday of his daughter he relives the situation that happened. Now, he wasn't an angel. He went back and forth. I mean, he had a little nasty ass mouth too, I must say. And he started out as my friend. When I went to school to get my GED, one thing led to another. He ended up hooking up with somebody close to me, and truth be told, we were messy back then. And despite his shortcomings, he did not deserve me attacking him. He didn't deserve it. But it took me years to get there because I couldn't see past me, not realizing like this dude, and he only has one child, just had a baby, this, that, and I kept telling my friend like, yo, I should go, I should leave. Oh no, I want you to be. That was the end results. His little mouth said something, I said something back. He said something before he could finish what he was saying. It was, and I felt the baby behind me, even though it was a distance, but I drug him to the other side of the room. No, I picked him up to the other side of the room by his throat, and it wasn't pretty. It's um, one of the things I really regret. That's one of the things that I really regret. And my ego, you couldn't tell me I wasn't ish. I was like, oh, I did this, I did that. It was almost videotape. Thank God. Um, it wasn't the actual situation, and it was sad. It was sad, and that's when I started waking up and saying, yo, you gotta operate different because this right here is not good. Because it could have ended up totally different for him. It could have ended up totally different because my mindset at that time was straight street. It was survival of the fittest, and he was not about that life, and I was. I mean,